This would be a good start for this session. Okay. Hell yeah. We're doing back work, baby. Let's get started. Warm up with just the bar, you think? Starting with some barbell rows. Splendid. Okay. Oh. Hello, Nemo. Yeah, I know. Weight is insane. How many reps could I possibly achieve? This is gonna be fun. As I say, bent rows I've only been able to do for a little while just due to the maybe the way I was approaching the lift or whatever it may be. I've had to kind of work around them, but I've been having good experience with them lately. Oh, so, should be fun. Yeah. Okay, let's put an additional 10 on, shall we? Working with 30 today, I can probably manage a lot more, but given my previous injuries or lack of comfortability with the exercise, we're going to work up slowly, particularly given my new ethos with regards to hard training. This is an exercise that might be a little troublesome for me to take to the level thingy that I'd like to achieve. Oh, my poor legs from yesterday. It's odd, I don't have any DOMs in my quads, but I'm feeling it in my calves. Alright, let's put another 10 on. That'll be 66 pounds, which it says is my working weight, but I might go to 32.5. That'll be like 70 something. Gonna pass on tonight because I'm getting a headache from being on this damn computer so much. Yeah, well, thank you for letting me know, people. Do enjoy your evening. I will probably do Subnautica tonight, I'm thinking. Should be fun. Right. Good thing is, using the larger weights makes the deadlift, or the lift into position, slightly more accurate for true deadlift form due to its height off the floor. Alright, let's do like a set of 6 and then see how we feel about working heavy or adding weight or working into later night numbers. See how the form feels. That was a little poor, hold forward. I feel like adding weight might be merited because otherwise, I feel like at this weight, I'm gonna get, due to the fact that I did some hard leg work yesterday, I'm either gonna get lower back limiting the set potential or my legs limiting set potential. So I'm gonna go for 32.5 pounds, methinks. I only got 20 sets. So 32.5 pounds is 72 kilos. 72 pounds, sorry. Let's see, is that within my weight range? It is at the higher end though. 72.65. Cool. And it wants 12 repetitions. We can probably manage that, I think. Be back next week though to play more. Cool! I look forward to it. Let's get the cute weights on there. Right, and let's see how we feel. I'm wondering what will be the deciding factor for this exercise, whether it will be my back or, as I say, my legs or lumbar region, spinal connectors. We shall see. Let's get this deadlift right. Better. Yeah, lower back firing up. I think that would be the limiting factor for the most part. Most likely, what was that? 3 to 4 reps in reserve. I feel like putting a higher weight on is merited. How many reps was that? 22? 20? No, done 20. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to move up in weight so that I can really fatigue my back musculature before my lower back. So let's add 2.5, let's go to 35. Okay, 77.16. And I'm gonna limit myself not to go any further or any higher for the next set. Because that'll be 5 kilos added in total, which is a hell of a jump from one set to the next. Though at these kind of weights, it's not something I'm too worried about. Oh. Let's get another good shed in though. Did more work on my Anatomy and Physiology Level 4 qualification today. And one of the questions was about exploring the link, or it purported that stretching decreases risk of injury, which is something that I don't necessarily agree with. So I was prompted and able to look through various academic literatures studying the sort of correlation between stretching of different modalities and injury. And there's some very interesting conjecture and research on the matter. So people are sort of raising the question of what is the correlation or relationship between stretching and injury prevention. Doesn't seem to be a solid conclusion yet, from what I've seen at least. Okay. I do need it. More weight. It's 22. Cripes. Should we go up again? Again, my lower back is the limiting factor. The range of motion, the rep speed didn't slow, but I stopped the set. And that is because I felt like if I kept going with it, my lower back was gonna fatigue. So I'm gonna add weight. It's the only logical thing to do. Unless I want this to be, and to be honest, like, this is effective training for my lower back. Like, it will improve my ability to do this exercise. But I really do want this last set to be fatiguing my back or my upper back before anything else. I'm wondering if there's somewhere I can set up a chest supported variation. We'll add 2.5. See what we can do with the final set. Whew. How you doing anyway, chat? How you feeling? What are the superficial back muscles you've got? Latissimus dorsi, rhomboid major and minor. Got the, just remembering there's a serratus anterior, which implies there's a serratus posterior. Wonder what section of the back that's considered part of. You've got the trapezius, and its different orientations of fibers. Then you've got the deep muscles, or the intrinsic muscles of the back, which specialize in movement of the trunk. Huge range of muscles called the spinal erectors. Okay. This would be a good string to watch while playing arty. I mean, you can play arty all you want. May you pig well and work hard. Okay, let's see what my lower back will facilitate here. Damn glasses, get off my face. Okay. And that's a nose. Aye, aye. Okay, so next we are moving on to 82.12. We are moving on to wide grip lat pull downs. Should be fun. Let's get set up for those, shall we? Well, you get the new anime tanks that are coming. Do you know, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with what the tanks are. Well, let's put you guys over there, shall we? Okay, that looks like semi-decent positioning. Oh. Do a few warm-up sets. sure about what the height setup for this is. This might be okay. Yeah, I could do it kneeling, that will work, or sitting, might be even better. No, I can do it like this, I think. Okay, let's put another 10 on there. This one I'd like to go to failure, but like with the bent nose, the lat pull down variations that I do tend to be a little cruel to my left shoulder, oddly enough. So I don't know whether I'll be going 0 to 1 IR on these. I'd like to. I just worry about my biomechanics for these kind of movements. The good thing is, we're finishing with neutral grip pull downs, and I find those more comfortable. So that'll be fun. Churchill and Centurion, so nothing too exciting. Really? What, are they just like exactly the same as the regular ones? They just copies, or do they have something a little different? Oh, let's do a set 6, 8. Oh. See, I'm not sure whether I should be going for, what's the word? Like touching the bar to my chest on every single rep. It's a good cue, like if you can do it, but my flexibility has never really felt like it facilitates that. Like, I feel like a solid contraction for me is sort of here, as opposed to here. And that sort of extra inch or two of range of motion, I think does negatives for me more than it does positives, which is interesting. And I'm always, I don't know, there's part of me that wants to push for that extra range of motion because I feel like it will be valuable somehow, but I think for me personally, maybe for other people, it's kind of outweighed by the benefit of sort of injury prevention, feeling good in movement, being able to push harder with the form being slightly less strict. So, we'll see. We're working with 41 kilos for our working sets. Oh, puppy. Hi. There's a puppy outside making eye contact with me. Oh, doing good? Watch your video on about the oxymoron. It's the next level of stupid from the mod here. You are have English. Yeah, many people were lost in the oxymoron war. It was very sad. They gave their lives fighting for justice. Okay, how many sets does this one? Reps, I mean. It wants 17. Okay, let's do 18. Well, let's do 20. We're probably not doing 20, so I'm going to do 20. I might sit just for stability's sake. I reckon 4 to 5 reps left. Somewhere around there. But we're gonna save that for the 2 remaining sets that we have. I'm really sort of conserving 0 to 1 RIR for my neutral grip work, because I feel a lot more stable and willing to push with that movement. And maybe as I keep doing these movements, I'll become more comfortable with pushing them further. I wish I could work out. Tore off my shoulder ligament in an accident I had last year. Finishing my recovery next month. Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Still walk a lot. Hey, walking's a fantastic exercise. Oh God. I might add a little bit. 22 reps. What does it give the upper bound of my rep range? Says I can go to 99. Go to 42.5 for the next set. 93.69 pounds. 93.69. Ooh, and it wants 13 if we're doing that. 42.5, baby! I'm half psychologically beating myself up for leaving 3 to 5 reps in reserve on that set. But I kind of feel like if we're doing like 20 and above repetitions, we're not really training for hypertrophy as much as endurance. So I think leaving reps in the tank, adding weight, starting to get down to those slightly lower rep ranges is going to be beneficial. I'll pick up some swimming too, should help the shoulder. Yeah, absolutely. And if you can get in the gym, I recommend you pursue face pulls. For your rotator cuff muscles as well, obviously consult whoever you're seeing with regards to like your GP and stuff like that. But face pulls, this movement, alright, strengthen those rotator cuff muscles, particularly important for injury prevention. Okay. Okay, that was better. Maybe like 2 to 3 reps in reserve, somewhere around there. So look at people are saying. I asked a while ago on your workout forum about calorie intake as a beginner. I got a scale and now I hadn't gained any weight at all. I upped the caloric intake to 3.5k, if 20k seems to be my maintenance. Good stuff, nice guy, good stuff. Yeah, you've got to think about, like, you get to the weight that you are over a very long time, right? So adjustments to that should take an equally long time. And any time that you, as a person, spend investing or tracking your calories, like, is useful for an extremely long time. You can use that information to be able to manage your weight, whether you want to gain weight or whether you want to lose weight. Understanding how much energy your body needs is a very useful thing. I have lower back problems too. We'll consult it with the doctor, but I'd like to get in touch with a chiropractor. The problem is I'm 6'8" and 220 centimeters tall. Well, weight is close to 155, which I'm trying to lose. Goal for now is 120, but my back is holding me back. Is your back an issue while walking? I would recommend swimming, just due to the low impact nature of it. You know, you're putting a lot less pressure on your joints if you are very, very overweight. Feeling a little bit of, let's see, what is that? A little bit of irritation in the left lat. Keep an eye on it. After a while, it shoots into my left leg. Maybe a sciatic nerve issue, if it's posteriorly located. I do not know though. Okay, once 11 on this final set, I'm going to keep an eye on this indentation I've got on the left lat though. Okay. I'm not sure that that's in reserve for that one. I'm a little concerned about the feeling in the left latissimus. We'll see how it performs with that neutral grip pull downs. Let's see. So it is can't even put on pants while standing, or lean forward properly, touch fingers to your feet standing up. Watching you gives me courage though. I was into deadlifting before the accident. That's good stuff. Oh. And the thing is, you've got to work from where you are, right? Not where you want to be. So, I mean, whatever state that you're in, there's likely progress to be made. You just got to work around your limitations. For example, when I started working out, I mean, I have postural hypertension, so it can be problematic for me if I'm doing movements that require change in posture. When I first started working out, I used a program by Jeff Cavalier from Athlete X, and a lot of that was sort of cardio focused. There's a lot of cardio movements, of shadow boxing and things like that, and boxing is one of the things that, for whatever reason, will make me have a seizure the quickest. So when I first started working out, I would have an average of probably, I don't know, it was like every set that I did of boxing, I would have to stop and basically fall on the bag and shake. And, you know, improving my cardiovascular fitness and my fitness in general has assisted with that over the years, and it's just about sort of navigating and learning what you can and working within your limitations, doing what you can do. Okay, so with neutral grip pull downs, wants us working with, what's that? 102 pounds. 102.51. That's 46.5. Whew. Okay. Okay. See how the lat feels. Is this going to be good enough? Yeah, that'll work. We're fine. Okay. Wait, that was a prime sub? Yay! Howdy fitness first. Hello, habitual. What do you good way to increase stamina? Or what do you do personally? Probably swimming, as we mentioned, running with my weight is out of the question. You've got to remember, if you are talking from a strictly weight loss and weight management perspective, I would argue, and I don't think there'd be many who would debate me, walking is far more efficacious than running. Not just because of the weight concern and the impact on the joints, right? But because of the longevity. Our bodies burn more calories by doing nothing than the excess that is added by exercise. So adding a strenuous amount of exercise that tires you out that you can only do for a little while is less effective than a lower level that you can sustain for a very long time. Weight doesn't move fast, and in the state that you've implied that you are, where you're overweight, you have problems with moving in the gym, with sustaining long periods of exercise, with performing certain movements, I would argue that the objective should be to facilitate your ability to do those things. So you need to work slowly in order to accomplish those things. That will make tasks like weight management easier in the future. I don't think in a state where you're unable to walk for long periods or do certain exercises is the state where you should be thinking about, okay, I'm going to do all these elaborate things to achieve an amazing physique or whatever. It's about small steps to counter the bad relationship with food or sedentary lifestyle, whatever it may be, that brought you to the point that you're currently at. And that's a result of myriad tiny habits. When I am on a weight loss phase, for example, I've done multiple cut phases where I will lose sort of 20 to 30 pounds in a month. And one of the ways that I do that is by sort of micro actions. And these are tiny things that are very easy to do in the moment. These are things like, if I was at McDonald's, I'd throw a chip out the window. I would take a pinch out of my pasta that I prepare and put it back in the bag. You know, it's these tiny things, and if you're taking a pinch of pasta, it's maybe 20 calories, let's say. Do that every single day, you've got to times 20 by 300, 365, whatever. You're going to lose a pound of fat in a year just by doing that tiny little thing. And it's these tiny things that add up to where you are. Right? Because our lives and our weight is a collection of tiny things that we take in, of energy that we take in, and we can take it off over that time by making those small adjustments. So it might be worth looking. I have on my Workout Ways YouTube channel, I have a video about how to lose weight that goes into the dynamics behind it and best practices. Short thing is, don't treat losing weight as a temporary block of effort. Right? That has a beginning and an end. It's the wrong way to think about it. You should think about establishing a relationship with your lifestyle that you can sustain for the rest of your life. Right? It takes a while to get into that point, but it shouldn't be a transient state. Let's see. Good workout again. It is indeed. Running with my weights out of the question. I lost 20 kilos last year. My daily performance didn't really get better. I started working out a couple of months ago and that has made it better. The 20 kilo loss was mentally good because now I can accept myself eating more as I work out and build muscle. Fair? Last weekend I walked something like 50 kilometers or 30 miles, if you will. Let's say I was exhausted for like 3 days after. Yeah, there's a balance. And to be 100% clear, the easiest and the most effective way to lose weight is to eat less. No argument. If you eat less, you will lose weight. And it is far, far easier to consume 200 calories than it is to burn 200 calories. So restricting food is naturally more efficacious for losing weight than exercise is. It's just a fact. So I wish that exercise was more effective at losing weight, but it's really not. So combining caloric restriction with small increases in neat expenditure, so non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, so the amount of exercise, the amount of calories that you do outside of structured exercise, these are things like walking upstairs, walking from the couch to the kitchen. Those are times of the day when you're not sedentary, but you are moving, right? Even clapping is a neat exercise, right? I'm burning slightly more calories by doing this than I am by lying down in bed. So the attitude that I take, and when I program weight loss management for clients via my website, is I will program activity. As opposed to a lot of the programs I do, people do want to gain muscle and see physique changes as well. So I do program actual structured workout times, but the activity is outside of that. So it might be 3 hours, 4 hours, even 5 hours of activity. And that is simple things. It could be clapping for 5 minutes. It could be moving your arm like this for 5 minutes. Whatever is in your capability, you have to understand that literally everything you do requires energy, from breathing to talking to moving, whatever it might be. And we spend 12 hours every day, apart from sleep, not exercising, right? So if you can take those 12 hours and up the amount of calories that you are burning within those 12 hours, that's sustained, that is going to value infinitely more for energy expenditure than the comparatively minute amount of time that you spend actually exercising. So speaking purely from a weight loss perspective, you should stretch it out, do sustainable things. These are things like walking back and forth while you're cooking, right? You've got something in the microwave, walk. Walking is one of the best things that you could do for weight management. Be active. Anytime you think, oh wait, I'm not doing much right now, talk, sing a song. If you're singing, you're burning more calories than if you're not singing. Activity. The difference in quality of life and health between people of a sedentary lifestyle working a desk job and someone who works in a warehouse is visible, it is palpable, right? And it's because of that very thing, of the concept of NEAT, elevating that caloric expenditure outside of structured exercise. See, let me catch up with people. I've been rambling. I have the opposite problem most people do. I do not eat enough. My intake is around 1,800 to 2,300 calories, but it should be around 3,200. So in other words, I do not eat enough. I disagree. And I mean no offense by this, but if you are not eating enough, then I highly doubt, well, I know if you're not eating enough, you're not ending up weighing over 300 pounds, as you mentioned. Right? Laws of thermodynamics are the laws of thermodynamics. Like, if you are taking in less energy than you are using, you are going to lose weight. There's no ifs and or buts about it. Like, a lot of people are very, using the term deluded feels patronizing, but they are very mistaken about the caloric value of what they are eating. Shows like My 600 Pound Life and things like this are, I mean, they're controversial and certainly, but they do a good job of elucidating sort of the social mechanisms that people have that lead them to the state that they are in, and one of them is just not understanding the effect of caloric density. You can eat a pound of broccoli and a pound of chocolate, and those are extremely different. Despite being the same weight, they're extremely different in the amount of energy that is stored or that is able. They're different in the caloric value, right? And the caloric value is it's a measure of the energy that is stored between the bonds in the food, right? So in effect, it is the energy that your body is capable of receiving from digesting these foods into simpler constituents, right? And this is why things like zero sugar drinks exist. I have a 6-pack of Fanta Zero in my fridge, and if I drink that entire sugary drink that tastes great, it's almost 0 calories. And that is because it is made with a form of sugar that our bodies cannot digest. They cannot gain energy by digesting that sugar. And so that is why you can drink that and not receive energy from it. It is a great method for people who love a sugary drink but are wanting to lose weight. Zero sugar drinks are very useful, in my opinion. So, yeah, people don't understand caloric density, and they really should. And it leads to a lot of people, as you have done yourself, saying, oh, I don't eat enough. Well, if you didn't eat enough, you wouldn't gain weight. I don't mean to be dismissive of your experience, but it's like saying, oh, I knew a friend, he didn't have a head, he was fine though. It's like, well, no. Oh. That's what my old coach said when I was still going to the gym. For most of the day, I just don't feel the need to eat. I'm not hungry. Sounds weird. Well, again, it may well depend on caloric density. If you are eating lots of junk food and lots of highly calorically dense foods, and you're lacking in dietary fiber, things like fibrous carbohydrates, which are calorically sparse, take up a lot of space for the energy that they actually have. Like, caloric intake can vary widely between food intake that weighs the same, that appears similar on a plate, but provides your body vastly different levels of energy. I mean, spreads are a great example of this. One of the people I saw on 600 Pound Life ate, like, relative, like, it wasn't the worst diet you've ever seen, but everything cooked in oil, covered in butter, covered in honey, and all of these things that she did not take into account when considering eating. Oh, I'm just buttering this bread. And that's adding like 50 to 100 calories. It's these tiny things that people fail to appreciate. But when you come and get back to work, you are right, fine sir. Oh, let's see what we can do. Be a good set. I've had a big rest. We're doing okay. Oh. Let's see. Sort your bloody socks out. What's wrong with my socks? Oh, they're... my heel is on my Achilles tendon. Whoa. You know what? I'll be happy if the most offensive thing I do on stream today is my socks. Okay, we're moving on to probably, one of my favourite exercises. It's inverted cable curls, or at least that's what I call them. Oh, my weight loss was quite unhealthy. I figured since I'd never worked out, I didn't have much muscle to lose. Also didn't exercise at all during the weight loss. I might as well eat only whatever fills me up and not necessarily have calories. I learned from my mum that her grandparents ate rye gruel whenever there was nothing else to eat. Some rye flour boiled in water. I see, goddamn, yeah. Yeah, I've done my fair share of irresponsible weight loss in my time. I manage it well for the most part. Another thing to note, pastry. There's a lot of calories in those, yep. Rice, pasta, you name it, potatoes are good. I'm trying to find balance in food, not to starve myself, which does not work in the long run, or any diet's really. There's merit to that thought process, certainly. I do think the diet culture has a lot to answer for, but that is primarily due to sort of miscommunication and poor implementation. The focus really for a lot of the population should be on finding a relationship with food that is healthy for them, not an arbitrary restriction for a temporary period, because so many diets don't address the underlying problem, which is the relationship with either lifestyle or food. And food addiction really is one of the hardest addictions to break, because with smoking or something like that, you can go cold turkey, right? You can just put down a cigarette and never smoke again, no matter how hard it might be. With food, you gotta eat, right? You gotta eat, so you have to give yourself small sort of injections of the thing that you have a bad relationship with. So I'm very grateful to have sort of never been in a position where I've had to endure those struggles, and I like to think I'm empathetic enough to be able to sympathise with them, but I have to be sort of realistic and know that I can't truly understand them without having been in that situation. Okay, let's warm up for some biceps, shall we? And a lot of meat and vegetables, good stuff. Mainly Vietnamese cuisine, which I love. And those sides like rice, I'll leave those out. Are you tracking, fine sir? Are you tracking what you eat? It's a very, very helpful exercise to know sort of what your average or your maintenance intake is. For example, if I eat about 2,800 calories, then I will maintain my weight. I will stay at the current weight I am, that's about 160 pounds. I'm currently bulking, so I'm on about 20,100 calories, and that's enough for me to gain half a pound of weight per... You just say behind you for no reason. Wait, is that your dad reflection in the window? No, I think that's me. Hi. You said behind me and I was like, oh. Yeah, knowing what you have to eat to stay where you are, knowing what you have to eat to lose weight, knowing what you have to eat to gain weight is very helpful knowledge, because then you can say, okay, while I was behaving like this, I was sedentary all day, I had one walk in the evening, and I was eating this, I maintained my weight. So, what I will do now is I will add an hour of walking in the morning. I'll keep everything else the same. Okay, what does that lose me over time? Oh, it lost me half a pound this week over the period of time, right? So you can make little conclusions about how your body responds to exercise, how much energy it is using by tracking what you weigh. And I think this is one of the things that I am most critical of within the diet industry, is I think there's a lot of what would be the word? Almost institutionalized attitudes to it. It's less about discovering a person's individual statistics, relationship with food and their lifestyle, and more about sort of using a one-size-fits-all plan. I think the ideal sort of diet class or whatever should leave someone walking away with a structured plan to not just blindly follow, but a plan that allows them to discover these components about how they relate to food and how they can track it and what to do, right? That they can follow themselves. It should give them agency over their situation. Anyhow, I'm trying to fill carbs, fats and fibre, but I always lag behind with protein. So I thought, should I get protein powder? I mean, it's up to you. Generally, protein powder is it satiating? Protein is naturally quite satiating. Combining, what I do is I mix my protein powder with a teaspoon of olive oil and fill that with water, and that gets me some healthy fats as well. But when aiming for caloric restriction, I would advise against sort of drinking calories. While yes, balance is an important consideration, the general rule is, and this subtracts a lot of nuance of course, but the general rule is how much you eat dictates your weight. What you eat dictates how that weight is stored on your body. Right? So if you're eating a lot of protein, it's more likely to be used for muscle protein synthesis and building muscle. If you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, it's going to be used more for energy expenditure and fat reserves. If you're eating a lot of healthy fats, it's going to be taken by the lacteals in small intestine. Yeah, the lymphatic vessels connect with the small intestine, and the lacteals take away what they call chylomicrons, our digested food lipids in the small intestine. But I've lost my train of thought now, damn it. But yeah, like all of those principles, right, are governed under the notion of use more than you take in. Like calories in versus calories out. And generally, for myself and a lot of other people, drinking your calories is unsatisfying. It makes consumption of food less satisfying. I think that the intake of 200 calories via a protein shake and 200 calories via a chicken breast are vastly different in terms of their capacity to facilitate restriction. Not just via the time that it takes to consume them, but the experience of consuming them as well. I think protein powders are good for facilitating macros when you are attempting to gain weight. Right? They're very useful because it's not always possible to eat in everyday life the exact amount of calories. When it comes to restriction, I would stick to whole foods that you can sit down and you can eat slowly. You can put down a fork between every bite, enjoy them, and just, eat a little slower, combine it with a side of fibrous carbohydrates, your green beans, your garden peas, broccoli, whatever it might be. Have a full glass of water with every single meal. And I think that is a lot more valuable and most likely more efficacious than incorporating protein powder when your main goal is constriction. See. Had some tests done, and I found out that out of the 155, about 120 is muscles alone, untrained. That would be, let's see. So on average, males have about 40% of their body weight as muscle. So if you are 150 pounds, that's like 330 pounds. So yeah, I mean, it's close enough in an untrained individual. I think for women, it's about 23%. If we're talking about skeletal muscle, when people just say muscle generally, it's kind of hard to know because we have different types. We have skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. I'm assuming they're referring to skeletal muscle. One thing I have going for myself, I gain muscle mass very easily. Losing the fat is a problem. Gotcha. I don't know how accurate the test was though. So yeah, I mean, I think the best value of tests, particularly outside of an institution that specializes in them, is self-consistency. Right? I have a set of bathroom scales that supposedly measure my body fat and composition. Are they accurate? Probably not, but they are consistent with themselves. So if one day they say I'm at 17% body fat, and later they say I'm at 15% body fat, I know reasonably for certain that I've lost some body fat, right? I doubt that they are accurate, I doubt that I'm exactly that body fat, but they are consistent with themselves, which is the important thing for being able to gain value from them. Okay. I like talking, man. It's a curse. Hey, bonus chat, look. It's a dog head. Hello, puppy. Look at the big long nose. And then there's that. Furball! So sweet, aren't you? It's a big lazy dog. Right, in any case, I must acquire some water. I'll be back. Yeah! I have to take some weight off because I somehow don't think I'm gonna inverse bicep curl 40 pounds somehow. How tall are you? I'm 5'8", fun sir. So I am a short fellow. I'm a bird person myself and 2 cockatiels. Ah, how lovely. I had a cockatiel, or my family had a cockatiel when I was younger. Lovely bird. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, come into my favourite exercise. Is it my favourite? I mean, it's up there. We're working with only 11 pounds. Wait, 11? Oh, that's for forearms. I was going to say, wait, 11? 5 kilos is what I'm curling. But, okay. Let's do 12, shall we? 26.45. That'll work. 26.45. Should probably do a warm-up. Oh. So, get out the way, air conditioner. Very nice. Oh, my hamstrings. Actually, it's my gastrocnemius. My poor calves. Hey, chat, I'll have a pop quiz for you when you get back over there, so open your study books. Okay, here's your quiz, chat. What is the origin of the short head of the biceps brachii muscle? So that's this muscle, right? That forms the, I guess, superior contour of your arm, right here. What is the origin of the short head? 5'8" isn't that short, man? I mean, Tinder would beg to differ. I'm generally lazy, to be honest. I mean, I think to a certain extent we're all lazy. Like a lot of people, when confronted with sort of questions about fitness and anything that requires sort of investment long term, you hear a lot of "I don't have time because of this, that, and that." And generally, when you say I don't have time, most people have time. What you mean is it's not a priority. I consider something else more important. And I think one thing that can assist with sort of that mentality is thinking about the value that it has, sort of pursuing fitness in terms of the benefits to long-term health. And I mean, there is a certain amount of sort of arrogance, I guess, in the catharsis that you get, like from going from like me being a stick figure to, as I now quite decently physically fit, within a community of gamers that is fairly remarkable. Like a lot of people who game a lot don't take good care of their physical health, and you know, I'd be naive to think that doesn't play a factor in me wanting to pursue it and take it even further. But I'd argue it's a relatively minor factor. I'm impassioned by the idea of giving people sort of an easier path to the benefits that I've obtained by pursuing what I have. You know, I have less seizures than I used to. I have less problems with my dystonia, and I'm happier. I guess. I have more direction. I think you feel more confident in yourself. At the end of the day, until I started working out and making progress, I did not appreciate the relationship that is very proportional between physical and mental well-being. I think one immensely complements the other. And I think it is worth investing very heavily in both. But this way, I don't like doing things that I don't have to do or do not need to do. But if I want to do something with myself, I have to become my lazy behavior. I mean, I think fitness culture does its fair share of damage to sort of neophytes, people coming in, and the first thing that I see are people who are insanely muscular or are enhanced, or they naively look at sort of athletes or people who are top of their game, and they compare themselves as a one-to-one comparison. And I think comparing yourself to people who, one, have been doing it for a very long time, two, are chemically enhanced, three, are very experienced and knowledgeable, does yourself a disservice. I think comparing yourself to yourself from yesterday is one of the most motivating things that you can do. I think fitness should be about treating every single day as an investment for the rest of your life. And I think if you think about it like that, it's easier to spend the time. I think it's the purest expression of body positivity. You want to open that can of worms? There's a group of people, particularly in the United States, who are sort of fat activists or whatever, and glorifying the benefits of free eating and this, that, and whatever. And some people will say that it's glorifying obesity, and I'm of the opinion that it's largely sort of hijacking the body positivity movement, which was originally intended to appease the esteem damage that was done to people who were scarred or deformed in some manner. It was a movement to help these people accept themselves as they were when they were scarred, disfigured, blown apart, damaged by acid burns and a jilted lover, whatever it may be, to help these people to love themselves. And it's been hijacked by people who are entirely in control of their own faculties, their own state, and yet are so entrenched in their own lack of conviction that they would rather ignore the very real consequences of their decisions than walk the hard path to get to a healthy weight. And it's really is a shame, because you only get one body, and I think you should take care of it. I think that's what body positivity is. It's not saying, oh, I'm fat and I'm beautiful anyway. I think you should take care of your body, and for the most part it will take care of you. Yeah. Okay. Might sound like an excuse, but since I had COVID in 2020, I don't feel the same anymore. I'm more tired of it. Oh, did not have taste or sense of smell for 9 months after. My father has the same feeling. He's not nearly as lazy as me. The opposite, really. I mean, you said you're lazy twice in the last 2 comments. Laziness is a choice. Like, we may not like it, but that's the way of it. Like, you can choose to change yourself. You can choose to be unhealthy. I think at the end of the day, any advice I can give you is going to be filtered through your self-esteem. It's an interesting thing because over the years I've had many people talk to me about my sort of, I do a series on YouTube called The Counselling Room of moments throughout my training career where I've become extremely emotional or upset or sad or misguided, whatever it may be, and I share these because I believe they're beneficial. And I've had a lot of people, well, I say a lot, I've had a number of people come to me and tell me that I can help them in dark times. And I always make a point to sort of impress upon these people that they help themselves. It may be that I was there or tangential at a particular time, but at the end of the day, that strength to push through that time and the fact that you're still here after a suicidal or depressive period, that's all on you. Right? So responsibility is a wonderful thing. It can cripple you, but I can't think of anything more torturous than not being in control of your own fate, of your own outcome. Right? And it's one of the most damaging things that's perpetuated by the fat acceptance crowd or whatever, is that they're not responsible for their weight, there's nothing that they can do about it. And not only does that demean them, but it demeans me as well. I have worked very, very hard to get to the point that I am, but according to the ideology of these people, none of my work mattered. If they didn't do anything wrong to get to over 400 pounds, then surely logic follows that I didn't do anything to achieve what I have either, where no one's responsible for anything. It's not the choices that you make, it's just, I'm cursed by God and now I'm fat, right? Responsibility is great. It's hard to say to someone that, hey, you're fat because of the choices that you've made. As true as that most likely is. But if you can frame that differently, I believe it's beneficial. Because what that says is that you've made the choices to get to the point where you are. And if you have the right attitude, there is nothing more empowering than knowing that you did a certain thing. Because it means that you can do the opposite. It means that you have control. You're not suddenly afflicted. You're not a victim of the world. You're the arbiter of the choices that you make. So I think taking responsibility for where we are is really, really important, because it gives us power, and power gives us agency. It's true, I just accepted it, now I have to deal with it and break it. Some people do not accept it in the first place and keep lying to themselves. It's very true. And as I say, I sympathise, because food addiction is incredibly hard. The diet industry has done a lot of damage to a lot of people. I hope I can sort of help communicate better to people. Anyway, I keep talking. Let's stop talking. I like to do my favourite exercise, 0 to 1 RIR, ladies and gentlemen. 0 to motherfuzzing 1. Hello, Lat Bicep. By the way, earlier The insertion of the short head of the bicep brachii is the coracoid process of the scapula. Fun fact, remember that one? It will come up on the test. Stupid, sexy Flanders. Set one. Okay. After I cover my injury more, I'm trying my best to do something with myself. So I can't keep going like this for the second I help at least. That is brilliant. It's exactly the right attitude. It's about you, not anyone else. Be better than yourself yesterday. Yourself yesterday is a little bitch. I look at me from yesterday. He couldn't get 15 reps at 26.45. He's a loser. He shucks. Oh. Oh. So this exercise just feels fantastic. I get such a good stretch in my bicep on this exercise. It just feels so good. So good. And and I feel so confident taking it to failure, whereas something like a hammer curl, or even like a barbell curl, I just don't feel as good about it. Pincher curls, fantastic. Probably my only exercise that I like more than this. But I've not been doing this for much long. Enjoy it so much. Glad I could talk to someone about that. Best part is you listen to that and shit more than you think. Gained most of my weight during my school days. I was bullied on a daily basis, verbally and physically. Never defended myself. Should have. Had no friends for support and did not want to worry my parents. I coped with it by food. Did not want to change my ways since it's on me. You are a very impressive person, Fancer. It is not easy to grow beyond your upbringing, because where you are is tailored largely by it. And it's extremely hard to do so, and you should give yourself points for being where you are, because the very idea of being able to say, yes, I had a bad upbringing, that factored into the choices that I've made, but at the end of the day, it is on me. And that level of accountability is rare, and it is achieved by few people. So as far as I'm concerned, that already is a win. Oh, it's kind of fun kicking you away from the workout. Look, hey, I'm studying anatomy and physiology, studying personal training, because I love communicating the value of this to people in terms of quality of life. So this is very valuable to me. Okay, let's do set 2. Biceps, a small muscle. We can go again. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what is the insertion of the long head of the biceps brachii? Yeah, you're next. you very much for the sub, fine sir. That is, that pays me a very, very nice compliment. Thank you. Oh. And as far as our pop quiz goes, the long head of the biceps brachii moves up from the intertubercular sulcus of the humerus and the inserts onto the supraglenoid tubercle, which is a superior tubercle on the superior glenoid process, and plays host to the long head of the biceps brachii. I believe the insertion is onto the aponeurosis of the forearm and the bicipital tuberosity of the radius or radial tuberosity, unlike the brachialis, which inserts onto the ulnar tuberosity. Socks. Tell you what, we'll incentivize it. 5 gift subs and I'll sort out my socks. Yeah, now I'm a businessman. How much are my socks worth to you, Sham? It wants 9 for the next set. Since we're talking about food, what would be your favourite? Ooh, it's got to be spaghetti bolognese, I think. Eating it almost every day of my life. I'm partial to a McDonald's every now and then, though. Imagine only thinking that I'm going to get 9 reps. 9 reps. You know what? We got 14 last time, 15 on the first set. What if I just got 15 again? Like, for no reason? What do you think? Hello? He says he's got 15. Okay. Show me 15 then. 9. A load of points. You had 16. Get out. Mother. 17. Oh, you thought I forgot you, didn't I? I didn't forget. You have been underperforming, fine sir. Can we get 15? I'll give you a second. What do you think? You got 15? He said he doesn't think so. We'll see. Oh, you definitely don't have 15, do you? Well, guess what? You're doing 15 anyway. I told you. You took 15. Sure. And you did 16 just to be an asshole. Oh. My biceps woke up. Ay, ay, ay. Whew. Okay. Let's see. Oh. Pickled honey with potatoes, eh? How much do we need to pay for nose socks? You want this to be a feet stream? Yeah, it was 5 gifted subs. Yeah, 5 gifted subs and I'll fix my socks. Barefoot 20. You 20 subs and you get my feet. If that's worth 20 subs, we got one more set, boys. And guess what? We're doing 15 again. Lol. My favourite food has to be Vietnamese beef soup with nice rice noodles. It's 400 calories per bowl and the bowl is huge. Ah, calonically sparse. Good stuff. It's an epic rap battle between Moses and Santa Claus, and Moses is Snoop Dogg. Oh dear. Oh, Steve's making deals again. I am, but in fairness, people, I don't have to give anything away this time. All I gotta do is fix my socks if someone like lobs £20 at me or whatever. I think that's a fairly good deal. Like all of the deals I've made in my life. Okay. Ladies and goddamn gentlemen, and you know what? Anything fucking in between. What have we done? We've done set of 15, set of 14, set of 16 somehow, and now we're doing a set of 15 again. Does that make sense? No. I'm gonna do it anyway. And then I'm gonna do forearms. Then I'm gonna masturbate. Well, I'm gonna do it with my hand. Right, left hand is first. Left arm is. You only got 14. I had to help you. There's a crane fly up there. $15. That's one followed by 5, by the way. Just need 1 or 5. We're hitting double digits. You know what? You've been underperforming. You deserve 2 more. Come on. You suck. Oh my god, that's not 5 subs, is it? I'm gonna have to fix my socks. Oh god. Okay. Oh. What did he say? Listen, I'm autistic, I think. I'm allowed to say things. Should be like Quagmire. Yeah, it may yet happen. Oh, thank you very much for the sub. That is gorgeous. Hey, what do you know? We're working out how we're making money. Okay. Moderate pump. How would you like the difficulty of the work you did for your biceps? Pretty good. Okay, so now really simple work. Is some forearms, and we're just doing dumbbell standing wrist curls. Should be fine. Well, I've got to be careful about my my angle with these, but we're working with simple 5 kilo dumbbells. The forearm is a interesting area of the body. The large amount of musculature in the forearm. Why it's as large as it is as a structure. There's a huge amount of musculature within it, and a large number of those are actually extrinsic muscles of the hand, meaning they originate somewhere in the wrist and forearm, and they insert into the hand, so they manage movements of the hand. In this case, we are training palmar flexion, or flexion of the hand at the medial carpal joint. Now let's see what muscles would be involved in that. You've got the flexor digitorum profundus, got the flexor digitorum superficialis, palmaris longus would also contribute. Are there any more muscles that would assist with flexion? I guess flexor carpi ulnaris and radialis, depending on the angle, because they facilitate primarily ulnar deviation and radial deviation. But yeah, let's see, it wants 18 reps. Oh, I don't feel like I'm going to get 18 reps. We'll see though. Very simple. Training anterior forearm muscles. I would say we're training grip as well, but we're really not. If I can barbell shrug 170 pounds for this many reps, then this ain't doing much for grip strength. Really feeling that contraction at the top. Another pop quiz for you, chap. Which superficial forearm muscle is absent in a large quantity of the population? Is it bad that I've already forgotten how many reps I've got done? Respect your wrists, chap. Medial carpal joint is an extremely complex joint. Well, it's extremely complex. Anatomically, it consists of the distal end of the medius, scaphoid, lunate and triquetrum, and I guess the articular disc of the ulna. Well, fun fact, most wrist fractures actually involve those two bones of the forearm, not actually the wrist bones. Though, in Fuchs injuries, which is short for falling onto an outstretched hand, the scaphoid bone, which is the most radially located of the proximal row of carpal bones, is very commonly fractured. It's one of the most commonly fractured bones in the body, I believe. Okay. Oh. I'm just going to note down 18. I do not know how many I did. I only got dumbbells when it comes to equipment at home. One can get up to 12 kilos. I wanted to get a curl bar because it's a more consistent weight when lifting with both arms. I mean, not sure what you mean. Oh, do you mean you don't have more than one dumbbell? And that one that shows up in the wrist if you do some hand movement. Yeah, so our first carpal metacarpal joint is one of the only saddle joints in the body, meaning it kind of articulates like this. Or I guess more accurately like this. And so that allows our opposable thumbs, right? And it allows opposition and reposition, which is this movement. And that's a movement that Vice Guy is referring to here. If you oppose your thumb and your little finger and you flex your wrist like this, you'll be able to see tendons present in this area, the anterior wrist. And in some people, you will be able to see 3 tendons there, and on some people you will be able to see 2. These tendons will be the flexor carpi radialis laterally, the flexor carpi ulnaris medially, and the palmaris longus. But the palmaris longus, which inserts onto the palmar aponeurosis of the hand, right here, and it originates on, I believe, the medial epicondyle of the humerus, back here. It is absent in, I believe, about 20% of the population do not actually have that muscle. So, yeah, fun fact. Oh, let's keep going. Okay. Cool. Ooh. Got a gym like 2 streets over. Ah, that's good stuff. Useful. Oh. 2 sets left, chat. By the way, if you would like to join me, I will be live again at 10 p.m. So that's in about an hour and 45 minutes. And I will be playing some Twitch Control Subnautica. So you'll be able to spawn fish, starve me to death, and do all sorts of evil things. We're playing hardcore at the moment, which means if I die, I have to start the game all over again. And that will be life 265? Somewhere around there. So I've died 265 times attempting to complete the game. So yeah, that'll be fun. Welcome to join me. Whee. At least you can't see my socks while I'm doing this. I'll leave your thoughts to my imagination. I am glad that that is where they dwell, friend sir. May they torture you for years. Whew. By the way, if anyone is interested, all of my workouts from now on will be uploaded to the Workout Ways YouTube channel. I take efforts to mark the beginning of all exercises, including all the chapter headings will have the weights that I'm using for warm-ups, the amount of reps that I did. It's very, very detailed, so do have a search for the Workout Ways YouTube channel on YouTube. You should be able to find it. We've got about 130 subs, somewhere around there. So you can chase that up and you can find daily workouts from me, from this mesocycle, and then we'll be changing it up in about 6.5 weeks. Might do a deload, not sure. Okay, let's finish up, shall we? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the workout for the day. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will be back in an hour and 40 minutes, as I say, playing some Subnautica. So you're welcome to join me for that. Sure, it'll be good fun. And yeah, next time I will stream after that will be 2 to 3 p.m. tomorrow, when we'll be doing the weekend World of Tanks stream. So, yeah. Look forward to that, and have a good day. Bye-bye.